for my other guest to come back on. She was having connections with her phone, but I wanted to start on time. How you doing, Strawberry Kisses? I wanted to start on time. Tonight we are talking about mother-daughter dynamics. Um, so yeah. Oh, I didn't put my thing. Hold on, there she goes. Hey, I didn't like
Yes.
it.
Just. I'm coming.
All right, babe. I hope y'all can hear me because Instagram was acting funny and didn't want to connect
I
through
think
my
somebody else gonna be on
phone
there
number.
too. Oh, she's talking to someone behind her. Oh, this is nice on the tablet.
Hey, boo.
Hello. Okay,
How
hey,
are
I'm
you,
here.
beautiful?
I'm great,
How
beautiful.
you been?
I've been wonderful.
Traveling the world and making everybody jealous.
I'm on a Black World Tour. I just love my people so much.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So tonight we're gonna be talking about other dynamics, and this was something you wanted to touch on. So
Yes.
I'm guessing you have some insight on this. Are you coming from a personal level, or are you coming from just it being a trending topic?
Both.
Okay.
Definitely
All right.
both.
So what do you feel about how they are putting us out there as Black mothers and daughters um, on mainstream TV? Like I have one show that I know for sure that I want to talk about that just got under my skin to the fullest when it came to that mother daughter dynamic.
What show is that?
Basketball Wives, and which is yes, it was the very last season of Basketball Wives, and now it's not coming back on, and rightfully so, rightfully so. And I'm gonna tell you why. One, Shawnee knew better, and how could you call yourself a friend and put your friend on live TV to even play that role against her daughter like that? Like, why would you even let them do that to each other and say that's your friend? Like, that makes no sense to me. I didn't like that at all whatsoever. On top of, you are one of us who is a mother as well. And you thought that was okay for them to act like that against each other on national TV, whether it's real or not? Like, no.
Yes, actually, that's one of the initial mother and daughter relate. Let's say mother, I would say that I had a problem with, which is Jackie. Um, I have a major problem with Jackie.
Why?
Um, because of the relationship she has with her oldest daughter.
Okay.
And then I did do some research with the relationship she had with the second daughter, because
Hmm.
on the last season, I know they did have some issues, and I looked into that too.
Okay.
But initially, I haven't actually watched the Basketball Wives last season, but I did see it on the blogs, and I
Okay.
did go in to look at it to see what was going on, because Jackie and that second daughter, she praised her. She put her on a pedestal. And
Hmm.
that's one of the major issues with the mother and daughter dynamic. The mother, they always put one daughter on a pedestal versus the other daughter. Whether it's, and it's usually because um, that daughter that they're putting on a pedestal is kind of like they're trying to live through that daughter versus they have that favorite daughter. So they
What makes you think that they have that favorite daughter? Like, I don't know. I don't
With
know.
Jackie, for sure, Jackie has that first daughter that's not by her husband,
Right.
and she's more of a bigger girl,
Okay.
and it doesn't have the aesthetics of the other daughter, and she, it seems to come off as she treats that daughter like she's, not worthy, you know, and I went on the daughter's page, the first daughter. I went on her Instagram, and I do see there's a little love there, but it's nothing to like how Jackie praises that golden daughter, the smaller daughter. And I think
Okay.
that's really big too. Even with myself, I feel like with the Black mothers, if they have more than one daughter, they go for the daughter who they try to live through, like remind them of their old days when they was younger, finer, slimmer. I even seen it on Facebook where there's a group on Facebook where they have like fraternal twins.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a mother who has two fraternal daughters. One is heavy set and like brown skin, and one is very skinny or slim and light skin. And the pictures that she posted of her two twin daughters, the heavy set brown skin girl was always off looking in the pictures, like off. You know how you take a picture with your girlfriend and you off and she cute, and then she posts a picture of you off and you like, girl, why you posting me like that? Why you
Yeah.
didn't post a picture when I was cute too? The pictures that the mother posted of the two twins, the bigger daughter was always like off guard, not looking cute, versus the slim lighter daughter was always looking like a celebrity, top notch superstar. And the comment sections was eating up the mother because the comment section was like, we could tell who your favorite daughter is. Why are you putting your other daughter out there like that? Like, why did you post better pictures? Like, some of the pictures, the heavyset daughter wasn't looking, or she just looking like crazy, or it just didn't look good. And I'm sure the bigger daughter had better pictures, but it just seemed as, on the outside looking in, she was
Right.
praising the slimmer, lighter daughter, you know? Same thing with Jackie. I feel the same way with Jackie. She praises that slimmer daughter versus
Mm-hmm.
the heavier daughter. And also with Jackie, she praises the daughter that's from her husband.
Okay. I can see that. Um, I can see that with parents, period, whether it be daughter or son. Like I have seen several mothers typically praise the children more of the father that they're with or the father that they like the best. I can definitely I've seen that dynamic. Um, and the daughters, I don't think I've really paid too much into it other than when I saw it on that show and like little stuff I see on Facebook, which I try not to feed into because it be people's personal lives that I don't want to have a comment on because that's touchy. Um,
Hmm.
but that whole Jackie thing just like really stood out to me. And I didn't like. First, I felt like the daughter came on there to cause problems regardless of what her and her mother went through, whenever they went through it, she still came on there to like point her mother out for everything and to cause problems. So at the end of the day, I don't feel like Jackie was 100% wrong, but I feel like it was 100% wrong to show their dynamic.
I agree. And also, Shawnee, she did that for money and views, of course. And, I feel like they capitalize off of showing the mother and daughter relationship in a negative aspect. And everybody is, even I see men, because I call myself a comment professional reader because I read all comments, baby. I might not respond to them, but I read them.
I don't.
I read comments because I feel like that's my way of, learning society and seeing how people think. Because, I'm not, in this day and time, most of our internet interactions is online. So I love reading comments to see how men and women of all backgrounds and all walks of life are thinking about certain topics. And I've seen even a lot of men dog women out for hating on their daughters, being jealous of their daughters. Even I just seen maybe today or yesterday, it was yesterday, I saw a post where there was a young mother, then a younger grandmother, then a younger great grandmother, that type of post with the ages. But in the comment section, I saw a guy say they all competing with the same man. And I see that a lot. And that comes where the little, tension comes from, because
Of a
these
man?
mothers, yeah, yeah, they compete with the same man because they up in the same age group. If your daughter is 21, the mother is 36, and then the grandmother is 51, you know, they
I guess.
all. Hmm.
See, I guess because I don't have that dynamic. My late sister was like my mother. She was old enough to be my mother. She was in her 50s when she passed away. And then my mother is knocking on 80. So I didn't have that riff or that dynamic. We both had our individual relationships with our mother and our individual experiences with our mother that had nothing to do with each other because we were so far apart in age. So
Yeah,
I didn't experience that. But me as a mother, I would kind of want to watch myself on how I handle that, because do you feel like they notice what they're doing and it's a purpose thing? Like they know that they're competing with their daughter, they know they dislike their daughter, or or that's just in their nature and they're not realizing what they're doing. Like that's part of their makeup and they're not realizing what they're doing.
honestly, I don't think that they're doing it purposely, but it's put out there like that. And I don't like it. I don't like how it's put out there that Black mothers are in competition with their younger daughters. I don't like it. I come from that dynamic of the young mother, the young grandmother. I really fit it. Like my grandmother is 66, my mother is 52, and I'm 34. So I do like fit that, dynamic of the young mother. My grandmother had my mother young, my mother had me young, and it's me. And my mother and my grandmother look very, good for their ages. And when I was younger, even as a teenager, guys want to holler at my mama, guys want to holler at my grandma. It's like still to this day, it's still like that. The man, they want the mama, or they want the grandma, or they want the daughter, or they want the granddaughter, because we're close in age, and Black don't crack.
Well, I can tell you because I've been with y'all family since whatever. All y'all look alike. All y'all favor. Like you can tell all y'all are family. And everybody is beautiful, and everybody has their own unique personality. So I guess I can kind of see in a sense if a man didn't realize, okay, mother, daughter, grandma, how that would go, because all of you guys are pretty and don't look your age.
And
And
that's
y'all
true
look
too.
alike.
That is true too, because I've actually, been engaged with like a guy, and he's like my mama, back in the day, and he didn't know I was the daughter. So I don't think it's a competition thing. I just think that that's the negative outlook on it. Yet there are some mothers who are jealous of the daughters. Because as the mothers, they maybe have multiple kids, or whatever the case may be, to where they're over their weight, versus the young daughters are fine, slim. These young girls look beautiful.
I hear you saying weight a lot. So you feel like weight is the thing in it?
Yes,
Because me myself, I have years where I'm slim, trim, and fine. Then I have years where I didn't put on my weight. Like I fluctuate. So I would never, and I have a daughter, I would never want to not feel that motherly love or feel like I'm in competition or make her feel away because of her weight. Because my baby is solid. And I never want her to feel away because of how she's built. Like I don't want that at all.
definitely. I feel like, in the Black community, weight is, one of the most factor. That's why I say it a lot, because a lot of mothers are overweight. And I pay attention to a lot. I'm a people watcher. So when I'm saying my thoughts, it's from years of, observing and studying, because I studied this stuff. And a lot of the times, though, the mother is overweight, and the young daughter is a nice slim trim, fit. And a lot of times when you do see the mother, even online, I see this stuff online, because I don't know if you ever saw that viral video when the daughter was like, her mama was jealous of her. She hating on me because I'm fine. I mean, I have to send it to you. Oh my God. Like, and it was that same dynamic, like overweight, older mother, and then the younger, finer daughter. And she was like, oh, she's just jealous of me because I look better than her. She jealous of me. And
So I don't know. This is just my mind frame as a mother. I feel like I'm at this age, whatever this age may be, and whatever it is that I look like, that is just what I look like, unless I want to do something about it. But at the same time, at this age, I'm dating at this age. So a man at this age, you know what you're getting at this age. You already you already know what it is at this age. Like our metabolism has slowed down. We ain't got time. We tired.
okay, exactly.
So you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the younger generations or the mothers who are trying to fit the aesthetic of the younger generation, that they go into wanting the body work or spending 50 hours in the gym instead of spending hours cooking. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it too, as far as lifestyle. Not to say that you don't have any time to fit in the gym, but an active mother who isn't paying attention to the aesthetics and just paying attention to being a mother is not purposely, consistently looking or making time to spend an excessive amount of time in the gym to be in competition with anybody younger than her.
Exactly. And it is not even that. I feel like it's the men that put us against ourselves.
Really?
I feel like it's the men, because men are always, men dog us out for being overweight. Yes, our men love big women, they love thick women, but then you also, you got the man that's like, y'all overweight, y'all need to go to the gym. Black women ain't never in the gym. Now, younger black women are more naturally slimmer for whatever reason. You get as
Until
you
they get up to age, we was all slim.
exactly.
We
So
was
when they're
all slim in our 20s. I was fine as hell. Well,
exactly.
I'm still fine as hell. But you know what
Exactly. We
I'm
still fine. But when you're younger, you're
right,
slimmer naturally.
right.
So you don't have that, like, especially if they don't have a lot of children, versus the mothers then had kids and raised kids and had men, had raised men, then been through a lot behind these men. So, and medications and all kind of things that come across with us being heavier. But then that goes that competition thing that men always put us against. Oh, y'all jealous of the younger girls, or y'all old hoes, y'all done made all these mistakes. Now y'all jealous of the young hoes because they ain't made the mistakes, or even I've even seen it where I saw some men talking about how the older women all got all the tattoos and stuff, and let the young girls be pure, and like,
I
yeah,
ain't heard
don't.
that one.
Oh my God, because I'll be in some groups. And let's be real, I'll be in some Kevin Samuels groups. So I be seeing a lot too. But it be a lot where I feel like the men is the reason, is a major factor of that mother daughter, dynamic. And then also these young girls do be thinking they all that because they slimmer, but that's because they ain't been through nothing yet. Just wait till you get a little older, a couple more years, and you're gonna start paying on some weight too. So just because you all fine slim now, don't think that you're better than your mom because she got on some weight, because she got weight because she had you and your brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Or she didn't been through some life and she's working and she's tired and she's older. I do see even if you see like the viral young hoes versus old hoes saying, they was all going around saying, oh, they young hoes and we old hoes, or those
No,
old
I
hoes and
don't.
we young hoes.
I honestly don't see none of that. I can tell you, which I just spoke to somebody about it over the weekend. I have cleaned up my Facebook and my Instagram so much to where a lot of the viral trends that are not something that I want to put into my thought process because I'm trying to stay at a higher vibration so that I can get through my life. Has nothing
Amen.
to do with everybody else. It's certain things that I want to intentionally put in my mind and not intentionally put in my mind so that I can stay above water and in the vibration that I need to. So there's a lot of things that I miss so that I don't fall back into a spiral of low vibration.
Hmm. I
So,
feel you on that.
but when it comes to certain things, now I'm missing out on conversations and I'm texting my homegirl like, what I just missed because I'm no longer seeing it or whatever. Like I posted something about Jocelyn or reposted something about Jocelyn or whatever when she was going through whatever she's going through. I don't even still don't know about this man or whatever. And my homeboy came under the page and was like, not you reposting ratchet shit. I'm like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. So no, I haven't seen it, but it sounds like it's something that I don't need to tap into, but I need to pay more attention to because that could be part of the mental stability of our younger generation too if they're battling issues with their weight or being in competition with the parent or not feeling loved because I look like this and my sister look like this and it doesn't fit the aesthetics of what the parents feel like it should fit. That can be a mental strain on a child as well. So
I think it's that, and also with that black mother and black daughter too, especially for me, because I myself and some family members as well as friends have issues with their mothers as well. And what I've noticed, because I review patterns, what I've noticed is it's the mother and the first daughter a lot that there's an issue.
it's a
I feel like
mother.
with Shawnee's daughter, the second daughter, I
Uh-huh.
feel like that daughter, I have to look a little bit more into that one, but I feel like with that daughter, I feel like that daughter was spoiled. She's spoiled and she didn't get her way and she's lashing out and, stuff like that. But that's not Jackie's big issue with that daughter. Her big issue is with that oldest daughter, the one that's barely on the show, the one that you don't even really see. That's the real issue that Jackie has. That's why I don't support her. And this has been for years. I was really shocked to even see Jackie have that issue with that second daughter because that's her prized child. But I do believe like that prized child got a little spoiled and felt entitled and felt like, you spoil them. And that's usually how it happens. The ones you put on the pedestal is the ones that, show you why you should never put them on the pedestal. You know, come on, that child that you put on the pedestal will show you why you should have never put them on the pedestal. And I think that's what happened with that second daughter because she's spoiled by her mom and her dad, and she just didn't get her way, and she's upset. But the real issue is Jackie and that first daughter and the way she treats that first daughter, the way that first daughter isn't even known. And they always try to give the excuse of, oh, they don't like to be in the spotlight. Yeah, right. Oh, there is not the personality. Yeah, you can still love on your child. It's
Right.
because they don't fit the aesthetic. They don't fit, what you're trying to portray yourself out there to be.
Right.
Even like with Gucci Man's wife, how she keep her other kids hidden. They because they don't fit the aesthetics. They're not from her husband. Mothers have a lot, they do that a lot. So the bastard kids go through a lot, and even especially with the mother and daughters. But I've seen that with the first daughter, and I also believe it's because it's either the first daughter or the daughter that is so much like the mother to where they usually clash instead of click because you're just too much like your mama. You know, they just can't stand them.
That mirror, they holding up.
Hmm. It just be just like, but one thing I have noticed too, even from recent trending topics, I've noticed that in every mother and daughter toxic type of relationship, that mother had a toxic relationship with her mother. And when that daughter is trying to hold that mother accountable, that mother Even personally, that mother would say, well, my mama wasn't there for me, or my mama didn't do that for me. And, I was fine, or my mother, didn't love me. My mother was this to me. My mother was that to me. So it's like, that's their excuse for being that way to you because of what their mother put them through, because they're still unhealed.
That's
So, and that's their excuse. Oh, their
right.
mama did them worse. So you should be grateful, because at least your mama, like for instance, if the mother was on drugs, that's like, well, at least you didn't have no crack, type of mother. At least you didn't have no horror of them. At least I was there. It's not my fault that I didn't understand you. But I feel like the mothers are not really trying to understand the daughters. Um, I've noticed that a lot too. It's like, well, my mother wasn't there for me. My mother didn't do that for me. I had to do this on my own. I raised my kids on my own. Or I was a teen mom. I was a young mom too. And my mother wasn't there. Like I had to figure it out. So you figure it out too. I be noticing that too with those mothers and daughter situations. You see, I be looking, I be paying attention to this stuff.
So basically, you feel like because they were thrown to the wolves, they throw their daughters to the wolves and be like, figure it out.
Hmm. Because they mother didn't truly love them. They mothers didn't love them. They mothers probably picked drugs, alcohol, or men. Usually it's always that a man, alcohol, drugs, the streets before they daughters. So they feel like at least they was there better than that, because their mother was out in the streets. Even in my family, I mean, it's very common. Like their mother was in the streets, but I was there in the house with you, even though I didn't love you. I didn't get to understand you. I didn't know how you was feeling. I don't understand the trauma I put you through. I probably didn't tell you that I love you or I didn't hug you, but at least I was there. At least I wasn't out doing drugs. So you should be grateful, you know even though they didn't tore that daughter down, they do, you know what I'm saying? You should be grateful because at least I wasn't out there whoring. At least I wasn't out there selling my body on drugs. So you should be grateful that you had a mother. I didn't have a mother. My mother didn't give a damn about me. My mother sold me. My mama had my mother boyfriend molested me. So that mother go through so much trauma in the past. So where they feel like, can we cuss on here?
It's
You should be grateful. You should be grateful. I don't like to really use profanity, but I'm speaking of what I hear. Like you should be grateful because my mother sold me to her man. My mother used to let her boyfriend rape me. My mother used to let my uncle do this to me and such and such. So you ain't never really been through nothing. So you don't know nothing to be talking. That's how
so
I feel like
you
the mother is with the daughters.
so you don't feel like there is enough dynamic of this is what I went through as a child, so this is not what I'm gonna put you through.
Mm-mm. It's only the special mothers like that, and I love those mothers. It's special mothers like that, and I see those mothers online, and I say online a lot, but this is in real life too. I see those mothers that. Oh, my mama was horrible, so I'm not going to be like that with my kids. I'm going to take my kids traveling. I'm going to give my children the best life. I'm going to make sure my daughters know that they're loved. I'm going to call them princess, queen, you my this and that. Like, I love those mothers because they mother went nothing to them. But I
Right.
don't think it's enough mothers today that are like, my mother did me like this, so I'm going to be the opposite. I'm going to be better. I feel like I hear women be like, oh, I'm not going to never do my kids like that. And then they turn around and do the same thing their mama did to them both. Sometimes even worse.
So I guess I go back to the question of are they realizing it?
I don't think they realize what they're doing. And that's why the cycle continues. Because they
Right.
don't realize because they're not getting the help that they need. They need therapy. They're not
Right.
getting the proper healing and help. They're just going through it and then it becomes a cycle. I don't feel like they're intentionally doing it. And that's why it hurts me to see people speak so negative about Black mothers. I'm speaking for Black mothers only. Black mother and daughters and how negative it is. I see it a lot, like the mother and daughter, and then it's so negative. But I feel like the Black mothers are not doing it intentionally. It's because they are coming from an unhealed place and they never got their true healing. They haven't got counseling or therapy. And even they need even the daughters need counseling, and therapy too. So also, and I could go on the flip side because I'm not just against mothers, because I feel like also the daughters need therapy too, to understand that their mothers need therapy, to understand that their mothers need help or unhealed, to give their mothers more grace. So we can fix this mother and daughter issues. Because even for myself, I'm gonna speak personally. Me, I've been in counseling therapy for 4 years. Well, actually, I started in 2020. I'm very big on trying to understand the other person, so I don't place all the blame on them. So even for myself, it's like, well, I take accountability of my mother and her past and her relationship with her mother and where she came from, and how she sees her life, to where I can like excuse her for things. And people be like, "Girl, you crazy, girl. I would never do my daughter like that." But I understand what place she was coming from. That's how I can, instead of me like bashing my mother, like how some of these girls online bashing their mothers and stuff like that. Me, you would never hear me bashing my mother. Well, I haven't at this point, up until this day. I've never bashed my mother online because I understand where she's coming from or where she came from. She was young. She had her situation with her mother. She was a young mom. Um she didn't have that, family dynamic with the fathers, so I, not to say like I excuse her, but I understand her, and
Right.
that's just me. And I feel like
And
these
that's
daughters
what it
don't
takes.
truly understand their mothers, and they don't take accountability of what their mothers went through. Not to
That
excuse the mother, but just to understand it a little bit more. A
what
person
that's
can't
what it
give you what
takes.
they don't got.
Right. That's what it takes to break the cycle, understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Um so for those, because a lot in our community don't necessarily believe in going to therapy, even though that is changing. I see a lot of that changing. A lot of more of us are tapping into therapy. Kudos to us, right?
Yes.
For those, what other coping mechanisms, or uh what other things have you done to heal from that, or to recognize it and change it into a positive, so that you make sure that you don't pass that along to the next generation of y'all family?
Well, even before therapy, like I said, it's just me. I have a very understanding personality. So I always try to understand a person. When I judge people, I judge like where they come from, their background, what they've been through before I like crucify them. Like you gotta take everything accountability. For one, a person, for me, my belief, a person cannot give you something they don't have. If especially if they didn't like if their mother didn't love them, it's very hard for them to show that love. Like TikTok be having a lot of stuff too.
It
That's why I
is
love. I haven't been over there in a while, but TikTok really open your eyes up because people really tell their stories on there.
really, I see. I post on TikTok, but I don't scroll through TikTok, and I barely post because I be forgetting about TikTok. To be honest with you,
Me too.
but but I guess me, like I said, I didn't have that competition dynamic or whatever. But I knew my mother always loved me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't a mother who always said it, but she made sure she forever showed it. So I can honestly say that is a trait that I did take as a mother. Like, I'm not as affectionate as actually when they're young, babies, toddlers, all of that is, yes, I'm all, I love you, oh baby, baby. But as they get older and grow into their personality and become their own person, I back off on the affection and show it more with action, which I know they still need affection, because my youngest son, he's 19 years old, and he still be like, Mom, like, and come get his love. Versus my oldest, who is 22, me and him are born a day apart, and he doesn't just come up and get his love. I gotta be like, come give me a hug. Like, he might come and give me that little side hug, but it's not like that youngest, whose personality is, you gonna give me
Hmm.
this hug. You
Hmm.
gonna so, and he's always been like that. So I can say that, that could be a thing too, because even with my daughter, she is affectionate. and I have to catch myself because again I'm trying to break generational curses and not wanting the affection as well. I have to catch myself and be like, okay, let me get, especially since she's a girl, because I never want her to feel or go through some of the things that I went through of not feeling like she's pretty or that she's loved or nobody loves her because she's not being shown love in her love language. Now, another thing that I have also witnessed or seen is a lot of, how can I put it? Just not knowing how to change the dynamic, not knowing how to get the healing so that your children don't go through it. And that is something that I want to bring more awareness to of that how, because everybody isn't going to go to therapy. And I didn't go to therapy. And I didn't go to therapy simply, I've tried it, but I can honestly say I'm one of those therapy triggers me because when I was a really, really, really young child, my mother put me in therapy when my father left because me and him were real close. And then when he left, it was like, where the hell is my daddy? Which is a lot of the reason why, as an adult, I put myself in a lot of situations and stayed there so that my older kids and younger kids could have their father in their life because of that issue with me. So, and it wasn't until recently where I was like, okay, you know what? That ain't healthy either.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just change this up a little bit, all the way around. Especially now that there's a girl involved, that we ain't finna have her feeling like certain things are okay. It's kind of different with boys, but when it's girls, you don't, you might love your daddy, but you don't want a man like that. So, um, with that, so girl, yeah, I just, you really, really have to pay attention and find those different ways to, this doggone phone thing keeps going out. Find those different ways to approach it in a way that you don't pass it down the best way that you can. Because again, therapy might not work for everybody. Because like I said, therapy triggers me because when I went as a young child, they have that patient confidentiality. I was told, no, I'm not going to say it. Next thing I know, it was said. And now it's a big issue in my household because I said something to you that you told me you wasn't going to repeat. So even though I know that was something young and probably something they were supposed to do, I don't, how that goes with the age dynamic thing. It still has always been a trigger for me and a trust issue when it comes to that type of therapy. So I never connected with that.
I can
Um,
agree with that.
I've never
I can
connected with
understand
it. So being that I've never connected with that, it's always been spirituality that I grew into that helped me. It's always been shadow work. It's always been meditation. It's always been affirmation songs. It's been things like that um, that molded me to be different and to be who I am now and who I am growing into versus actual therapy. So I guess I say all that
it.
to say everybody has to find out what it is that's going to work for them to make that change and to break the
Mhm.
cycle. But there are different lanes that you can use.
Definitely spirituality because therapy didn't get me where I'm at. That was just a piece of, of it. But it's that, like you said, that spirituality, that meditation, that understanding your inner self is the whole aspect. Because me and my mother didn't go to therapy together, and in therapy, she was only mentioned, very small percentage of the time, because yeah, she wasn't not she, it wasn't like anything like heavy there, yet it's definitely that inner self-work, that's that understanding, that's what I feel like helped, and just
It,
being able to accept people for who they are and say it's okay.
It
It's okay. And something you said too, because the mother and daughter dynamic is not always, it's not only based off the jealousy. And I don't like that either. How it's like, oh, she's jealous of me. Even like with the trending topics, it's oh, the mother's jealous. Oh, let's use like Black China and Tokyo Tony. And that's one of my favorite mother and daughter relationships. I love Tokyo Tony, but I cannot stand to see in the comments out there saying like Tokyo's jealous of China because China's young and fine now and the mama don't got it no more. No, Tokyo Tony is still fine, first of all. And one thing I like about Tokyo Tony, she's natural with it. I feel like natural is the biggest confidence. And a lot of comments I see they like, oh, Tokyo Tony she wish she was Black China, or she was jealous of Black China, she's so evil and stuff. I believe that is a strong mother that truly loves her daughter and wants the best for her daughter. It may come, it's based off where you're from too, because the north and the south, all raised differently. She's strict. But I feel like she truly loves her daughter, and Black China is her only daughter and only child at that. So I feel like her mother just embraces her love in like a strong way, but I still feel like she loves her, and I don't feel like there's no jealousy there at all. And a lot of people try to pit the mothers up against each other because when I say like the weight is because that's something that you could visually see that's opposite. For Black China, it's the color and the weight. The Black China's, her look, and then the mother is that look. They try to put them up against each other. I don't feel like that is anything what it is. I feel like Black China just, her mother has come from a stricter generation, and this newer generation just weaker. It feel like, oh, her mama hating on her mama jealous. And no, that mother
yeah.
just want the best for her daughter. And I mean, like, you can see, I feel like her mother is the reason why she's where she's at today, like with her healing journey and her, her spiritual journey that she's been on. Like, she's sober now. She took out the fillers, she took out the butt implants, the whatever she had on her butt. I feel like her mother is a part of that, because she sees like that life that she was chasing wasn't the best for her, and her mother stayed on her. And I feel like parents, especially mothers, especially Black mothers, do need to stay on their daughters, you know and that's
Most definitely.
okay. And
Because
I don't feel like Black mothers have to be so soft with it. We're strong, and it's okay. And I ain't saying everything Black China Mama said is okay, because one time she said, and that's another issue too. One time, it's a viral post, a viral moment on the show. She was like, "I don't care if your mother let her. I don't." She said something like, "I don't care if your mother let something happen to you. You still supposed to love and respect your mother." And that's another issue. It's like the black mothers feel like it don't matter what your mama did to you, or what you still supposed to love your mother. She your only mother, and I feel like that's not right. Black mothers should
they,
still take accountability of what they have done.
and I do feel like they do still love you, but there's probably a dislike or a bitterness,
Mm.
or that needs to be healed with it. And I do agree that you don't always have to be soft, but when you are hard, you need to come back soft later and explain why you were hard.
That's
Because
true too.
I do find myself, because I was a boy mom first, and I was a boy single mom by happenings. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that I could not avoid. And so I had to be that hard mother, to steer them in a way, to where they would be okay. And I've never had any issues with them. Think. Um, so I find myself saying in my head, and I've said it out loud too, like, oh my God, I'm used to being a boy mom. I'm not soft. I'm not the soft mom. So I'm the hard mom. Like, okay, you gonna figure it out. Okay, go do it. Okay, the world isn't going to baby you, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm not doing it. Like, get it done how you gonna get it done. And if it's wrong, we'll correct it. But let me see what you gonna do first. And there's a lot of times where sometimes I do have to go back and be like, okay, baby, now let's talk about this to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this. This is why I did it this way, because I don't want you to give in and give up. I want you to realize, like, you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. I want you to not have to depend on others because others might not always be there. So I want you to be able to critically think, problem solve, get things done. Um, and I think that's a lot of problem with mothers is that they do not allow their children to figure it out. We always jumping in there to save, to help, to do everything. Like we don't allow them to figure it out, especially when they're girls. Especially when they're girls, because when they're boys, we be like, "Oh, y'all men is men, figure it out." Which
Mhm.
I hate that too. Like men ain't supposed to have emotions, but that's a whole nother night.
Mhm.
But expect girls are more like in that umbrella of that's my baby. No, I can't let her suffer. No, I can't let her go through nothing. No, I'm not gonna let her get it out the mud because that's not what it's gonna be. No, 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 right? But that's why you get the dynamic of I think I'm better or I'm spoiled or I don't or no. That's why you get the dynamic of now she's slashing tires and busting out windows because she done ran across a man that told her ass no and let her know you ain't that pretty. You cute and all. You cute and all, but nah, but nah, that ain't how it world over here. So now she acted out because nobody has ever said to her, love yourself first. Figure this out. You don't have, it doesn't have to go this way. You are valuable even if this, and this, and this. So, you know,
Yeah, the understanding and the explaining and the communication is, you were saying like what else things you could do. It's the communication. It has to be communication and then the understanding. But the communication is number one. The mother, the daughter versus if it's younger. It starts when you're younger. But I feel like the more issues come as when the daughters get older. It has to just be the communication and the understanding and the explaining like why you say the things you say, why you was so hard when you said it, and it's to protect them. So I think that will
yeah,
help. And just the more conversations about it, and it's just communication and time. And the one thing you were saying about with your mother dynamic is like you knew you was loved. I think that the mothers should, let their daughters know more so that they are loved because that's the thing. A lot of these girls, oh, my mother didn't love me. My mother didn't love me, but your mother did love you. She just didn't know how to express it to where you could receive it.
yeah. But it was times growing up where I went through certain things as a child to where it it was a question from both parents. But like I said, it wasn't until I got older and understood the dynamics of life and did that inner work to know that, oh, that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In my case, it was more of a father thing to where I didn't feel like he cared and loved more than my mom. But then as I got older and realized how women are and how things work and his history, I realized, oh, that wasn't the case. There was manipulation, lies, deceit, and all of that played a role to where that's why he didn't fully understand what was happening. But if nobody takes the time to sit back and analyze the situation as an adult and put yourself in the shoes of that parent, you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to get that outcome. You're not going to get that thought process of seeing it for what it was back then. As children,
Exactly.
we don't understand because we're not in the mind frame. We haven't been through life enough to understand what's happening in the moment. But if you take the time when you get older to really analyze the situation and put yourself in their shoes, you can probably get a better understanding of where their mind frame was, how it was healed,
Exactly.
and all of that. Girl, I got a whole mic I never put on.
Ah, I lost my mind. But you're
Look,
absolutely right.
I
And
just happened and glance over there like, ain't that supposed to be clipped somewhere? But
you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I feel like helped me. Like the inner work and the putting myself in her shoes to get an understanding. Because if you don't put yourself in their shoes and do your inner work, It ain't gonna help. And a lot of times, like the daughters is just so blaming their mamas, bashing their mama. But have you ever truly, taken accountability what your mama been through? Have you ever taken accountability to understand what place your mother was coming from? And then have you done the inner work yourself? So you could process things differently or see the situation is differently. And also the daughters, we're not perfect either. you
Yeah.
know we probably
And,
not exactly the best of what our mother wanted for us, and we probably could be have a we might be a little disappointment to our mothers.
and I think we take for granted too that children, especially if they're mature enough, they can understand what's happening. They can
Hmm.
understand. They can understand what's happening. Like my daughter is sick, and she broke it down to her daddy better than I did. My mama said, she ain't trying, she ain't trying to keep me from you, but you can't be over here.
I
you
know
can't,
that's right.
but you can't come back here.
Look, those new 2000 kids. I call them pandemic kids. Them kids very aware.
Very-
I love
so
them.
right, and so if you sit them down and have a conversation with them, then they understand. They understand. You might have
That's
to,
so true.
you don't have to necessarily speak to them as they're grown adults. And that's why I hate that saying, stay in a child's place and a child shouldn't have an opinion, because now we walking around with a whole bunch of adults who don't know how to express nothing, who don't know how
Hmm.
to communicate, who don't know how to advocate for themselves because they always stayed in a child's place. So now that they're an adult, they feel like they still need to stay in a child's place. No, I need you to talk.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
hello.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I really agree to that, because as the kids get older, like you said, like it'd be a problem when you're out in that real world trying to
Right.
keep these kids in these quote unquote child places. Versus when I was in Puerto Rico, there was like a 7-year-old boy. He was running the Airbnb, doing the housekeeping and all. He was ahead of the game. Versus
Right.
we trying to keep our kids in these child places, and once they turn 18, 19, then it's like, what the
Exactly. Because they
hell?
understand. They understand. And like once I
Exactly, they
sat her
do.
down and explain, baby, this is why, but that she's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, and she had
Hmm.
no problem with it. Like, oh yeah, I
Hmm.
understand that.
Exactly.
And now when I see him, I'm gonna let him know that I understand the and why.
I know
You,
that's right. I know that's
but
right.
you have to have those conversations and not
You
feel
do.
like, yeah, and not the, and you have to start young, because once you start having it when they're 16, 17, 24, 35, it's too late. It's
It's
too late.
not
It's
too
going to
late.
take a
It's just
whole,
more work that got to be done.
it's going to take a whole lot
It's a whole
more
lot of
work.
work to be digging. That's why I say people be needing therapy, because at that point,
You can't hear.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going to take a whole lot more work. So you should start at an early age and explain, especially if they see it, especially if they heard it, especially, you know what I'm saying. So
Exactly.
now that they've seen or heard certain things, it's time for you to sit down and talk to them and explain and let them know what's going on. So you don't have that confusion, that competition, that not knowing or not feeling that they're loved and things of that nature. All it takes
Yes.
is a
Hmm.
5 minute conversation, if that.
Hmm.
Kids
I
and
feel like
kids
a
need
lot with the and I don't know what time we're gonna stop, but a lot with the mother and daughter like issues that I see online is the adult daughters and the adult mothers. Um, these girls are like in their 30s, still lashing out by what they childhood trauma, and I feel like at that point is why I recommend therapy, because it's so much. It's like
right,
deeply rooted that you need professional help.
right,
It's we to the point where little conversations, they can't even have a conversation with each other because they're going online, talking to strangers and going, you know what I'm saying? At that point, you need professional help. You need some Ayana, Fix My Life, whoever. You need somebody to come step in and like break this down. Like, let's start at the root and then let's work and start bringing this stuff down, because at that point, a lot has built over years. Because one thing that I've noticed with these social media mother and daughter dynamics is at one point in time they were cool with their mama, and the next thing you know, Oh, my mama never liked me. My mother never loved me. But what about
But
during
you
that
see the
time when,
word that you used? You said they were cool with their mama.
or I'm using the word cool, but it's like they had a great relationship, you know?
But were they cool as in the sense of they were friends and it wasn't a mother dynamic relationship? Because sometimes that be the problem too. Oh, you were
True.
more like my friend. Now you want to be my mama, and girl, what?
Now that's true too. Now they
That's
were
not
friends
girl,
with they. Let's say they was friends with their mama. They was friends with their mama, and
what?
then next thing you know, they mama never liked them. They mama don't love them, and they mama hate them, and they mama did this. And, okay, like they mama did all this bad stuff to them in the past, but then we just seen y'all hanging out, eating, drinking, the kids, and like y'all. You know, and it was probably for a little while. Then all of a sudden, the fallout come, and then it's like, oh, you bitch, you never cared about me. Oh, you used to make me do this. And they'd be like, well, what was going on during that time when y'all were good? You know, then what caused y'all to go back to being not good? Because y'all never fixed. When y'all were good, y'all didn't talk about that bad. Y'all just swept it on the rug. And then
No,
now
it,
y'all, you
it
know,
was
y'all
that
didn't
it was that my mama was my home girl, and I did something, and she had to step into mama role, and now I'm
come
like, hold
on.
up, we ain't finna do all that. You ain't been doing all that. Calm that down. Calm that
Now that's true. Cause I be
down.
like, well, dang, girl, you and your mama was just y'all had a good little run. Y'all had a good little season with each other. Now it's my mama ain't never, girl. She ain't even raised me, girl. I ain't even live with her. She like,
You said
what?
what? Where that came from? Girl, I don't
Exactly.
want to know all that.
So, like I said, I feel like the therapy, or even if you don't want to go to therapy, like just having that conversation, sitting down with that mother and that daughter, and talk about like you remember when we, you know, when because it's all from when they was younger. I'm talking about the adult daughter and mother dynamic issue, toxic, you know, relationship is talk about from the beginning, because that's what happened with me and my mother. Like I'm talking about from the root of the issue, because as an adult, I feel like as an adult, we were good. She wasn't the best, as in like what I wanted from her, but I also feel like people cannot give you what they don't got. Especially it's not her personality. Like you see, I'm a traveler. She not no traveler. She see me traveling, she want to travel, and I'm like, come on, let's go. She don't ever go nowhere. So it's like, we just don't click when it comes to that. I'm a like a person that loves to be all around the place. She like to be at home. You know, I like to go out and do girly things. She likes to be at home and watch TV. I don't sit at home and watch TV, you know? So it's like a little different. So I'm like, okay, let me stop expecting my mother to be what I want her to be, because that's just not who she is. She don't like to go out. She not gonna go out and have no girl dates, no dinner dates, no mother daughter dates. She not doing all that.
And,
That's not who she is. She get it from her
and,
daddy. Her daddy is the same way. So I'm like, okay, let me just accept her for who she is, and I am who I am.
but that goes back to learning each other's love language and loving each other in it. People feel like love languages are just for your relationship, just for your husband, just for your boyfriend, just for your baby daddy, just for your spouse, just whoever
That's
you sleep
true.
with, who you sleeping with. But no, love languages go for all of your relationships in order for your friends to feel appreciated, in order for your kids, because all your kids have different personalities.
That's
So
true.
all of your friends have different personalities. So in order for them to feel loved and appreciated, or in order for them for you guys to keep that bond, you're loving them in their love language. Whether you realize
Hmm.
it or not, that's what you're doing. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? For you to have a long standing friendship for years and years and years, that means that you were loving them in that language. So if you could do that here, you have to figure out what the dynamics is for every other relationship as well. What is that language, rather, for every other relationship as
Hmm.
well, to make it work and stop projecting your love language on them.
That's true. Accept them in their love language.
Right,
Yeah, I like that. So
right.
that's really deep.
And sit there and do what they want to do sometimes, and stop
Hmm.
dragging them to what you want them to do.
And that's true too. But see, and like what you said, I feel like with me and my situation is more so I did what she liked it to do. I would go over there and watch TV and sit around, and but that's not my thing. But when it comes to you doing my thing, you're not really doing my thing. So we kind of clash there. But we good though,
But
to
she's
me. Like,
older in her ways. A lot of
she
elderly
ain't that
people.
older, child. She ain't that
uh,
older.
She old enough to be set in her ways, though. She old enough to be set in her ways. So a lot of elderly people just ain't there, and they're just not there no more. Because
Did
I
you say
remember,
elderly?
yes.
She ain't no elderly. That lady young.
See, when I say elderly, I don't necessarily mean 90, 80. I just mean they're at an age where if you could be my mama, you're elderly to me. Basically.
Okay.
So if you're old enough to be my mama,
Girl, my
means
mama young.
you're elderly. If you my mama, if you are, well, I shouldn't say my mama because she is
Right.
truly elderly.
Yes,
But
you
if
have an
you're
older mother.
yeah, but if you're old enough to be my mother, you're elderly in my eyes. Like, girl, you old. And it makes me laugh because I hear my son. I heard my son's girlfriend on the phone with her on her phone with her friend, and they're in their early 20s, and they feel like I'm old. They be like, "Girl, you old."
Uh-huh.
Not old, y'all.
Girl.
Anyway, so yeah, but I appreciate you for coming
Yes.
on. I do.
Yes.
Anything that you want to say, anything that you have going on that you want to mention, you want them to follow you on anything, you want them to buy anything from you. What is it that you want to share? Because I know you always
Yes.
popping out with the goodness.
But yeah, so this topic is very, and not to say sensitive, but it's important to me, and it's something that I want the community to do better on, and to fix it, the best way we can. So just for the mothers and the daughters to understand themselves and their daughters so we can fix it. Because me, I don't come from a place of having like that toxic mother-daughter relationship. I'm healed and I could speak positive about my mother without having to bash her and stuff like that. So doing that inner work and understanding and having those conversations so it could be better, because honestly I get tired of hearing people talk about their mama drama. Like, no, seriously, like I got a friend, Lord Jesus, she in her 30s and her mother in her 50s, and she still is like, when you gonna give your mother grace? Like she, I always try to defend her mother, like, and she's, oh no, she still ain't over. She still like, I don't want to be in the 40s talking about the same stuff. Like, at some point we gotta get on this, to like understanding and like, let's move forward or something, because at a certain age, please go get some help type. But other than that, it's very I just want everybody to, work on it. Like, don't give up. At least come at peace with it. For me, I'm on Instagram, my photography, videography, event photography. I love doing events. I love taking pictures at events because I get to meet many, many people, and events be fun. Like, oh, I love doing events. Key Jones Photography, the number one. I do have 2 novels on Amazon, which my novel talks about my mother and daughter dynamic. It's in my story. I put it out there in 2023. It's Lady Key Jones. That's my author name. Diamond Daughter is book 1. It's a cold world. You got to keep some heat. That book talks a lot about my mother and the daughter situation. And then I have a part 2 on Amazon, Diamond Daughter, Respect the Game or Be a Victim of It. You can find me on Amazon, Kindle, or Pickback. Read the book 1 because it talks about that mother-daughter. I love it. I love it. I love it.
How is Diamond doing? I don't know if he has tried to call me recently or not, but how is he doing?
He literally just called me like at 10 o'clock, but I'm like, I got to do this podcast, so honey, I'm not finna answer. But he's doing well. He's doing the best he can, just trying to come home. Trying
Well,
to
tell
come
him I
home.
said hello, because I
Yeah.
know he probably like, man, she'll be answering the phone for me. Half the time, I don't be paying that phone no attention. You know how you got the
Mm-hmm.
phone that you pay attention and the phone that you don't.
That's me.
Right, that phone that I've had the same number for over 20 years, I pay that no attention because everybody got that number. So half the people that call it, I don't even want to talk to them for real.
That's too
Then
much.
I got the phone who I've had a little less, and you can catch me on that a little
That's
more
definitely
often.
me. My main line, I don't pay that much attention, but my sideline, the newer number, that's the one I be on.
Right. Because it's too many people know the old number. You be like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they be
That's
calling
the
from
number.
different numbers,
That's
side
the number the
numbers,
bill collectors
contacts.
got. That's the number the bill collectors got.
That's the junk number. Everybody got that number. I don't know who they be calling. They say
Exactly, but
everybody.
that cell
Look,
phone, that's exclusive.
you what they say everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
that's everybody number. I don't know. You can't
But
judge me from that phone. You can't judge me from that phone.
thank you for having me. I really like this topic, and yes, girl, anytime you want me to come back. That's one of the main topics right there, cause ooh, honey. Mm-mm.
Anytime you want to come back. So I'm good. I'm open. You got me. You know how to reach me. Love you lots and talk to
All
you,
right,
baby.
and how come people view this podcast? Are you gonna do some work on it?
They've already been viewing it. We've been live, baby.
Yes.
We've been live. But yes, I will do also more work on it too as well. I
I
don't know
got
why
some
I can't
girlfriends
see
that's
the
out of
comments.
state. They want to see it. So
Okay, they can go on my page, or I'm gonna see how I can send you the link as well. That's why I say you are welcome to stream from your side too.
okay.
But yeah, I'll send you the link as well. It is also on my page. I'll share it to your page, and we'll just go from there. It's probably gonna take me a little bit to chop stuff up and edit it, but
Okay. Well, we're gonna get this together, ladies. These mother-daughter relationship, we're gonna get this together, honey.
yes,
With
ma'am.
God,
Let's
all
do it.
things possible. We're gonna get this thing together.
All
That's
right.
what
Peace,
I got to
love,
say.
and light. Have a good night.
Yes, good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.